Good evening.
Hello.
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 How are you,
Hey,
Tom?
Tom.
Hi,
Hi.
yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm just hooking up for Janice over here. I'll go see where she's at. Oh, good. I got 5 minutes.
Welcome back.
Hi there, Nancy.
Welcome back, all.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Jay. Hi, Dick.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Did you guys have fun last time without me?
Oh, loads. Loads.
Fine.
Just loads.
Fun. Right, Nancy?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. Don't touch it. You got 5 minutes.
What?
5 minutes till the meeting starts.
5 minutes to read this.
She's coming.
What?
She's coming, I said.
What? Jeez. Jeez.
Read.
What?
Read.
Wow. Who's wow?
Look at this, huh?
Oh, it's Janice. I couldn't figure out who was talking.
Oh, it's me. I'm here. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Janice.
My husband got me on for the first time, and I've watched all of the proceedings on YouTube, but I couldn't speak. I don't know. I just wasn't working too well.
We could see you last time. You just didn't seem to be able to find us.
Did you see me the whole time?
No.
Oh, yeah, it just went dead. I don't know what happened after I said, can you see me? Yes, we can, and then it went.
Tell them you prefer live meetings.
I prefer live meetings, and I've asked David to start them again. I really can't do this Zoom thing. I feel like I'm not getting my point across on something.
Fighting with technology.
I hope that, what?
Fighting with technology. It happens to us.
Yeah. No, it
Especially
happens
if-
to me constantly because I don't even have email. So there.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm happy to be here.
We're happy you're here.
We're happy to have
Thank you.
your flowers look lovely today.
It's your flowers.
What does this mean, a panelist? What does this mean?
I've taken care of that.
Hmm.
That's nothing. That's just your reading number.
Why did you write that?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Are you hungry?
I'll be upstairs.
Scott,
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Tom, do you know how to put it on where I can see everybody at once or no?
No.
Okay.
I think they can-
Janet, Janice, I'm sorry. Up in the right-hand corner where it says view, try clicking on that.
All I have is recording live on YouTube. That's all it says.
On the
I
other
can
corner.
see you. I can
On
see
the other
you.
corner.
Nothing there. Nothing. Black. It's okay. I can see you, Frank.
I told her not to touch anything.
He said not to touch anything.
thanks, Tom.
It's okay. Janet, on the other corner of your screen, opposite the corner you're looking at, does it say view up there? Way up top, at the corner. It would be
No,
right
not
in.
with that.
It says recording live.
Man, I don't know. She's got an iPad here and it just says recording live. That's all it says. There's nothing there. And last time we touched it, we lost you.
Yeah. So I'm not touching it.
Don't,
No,
don't touch anything.
Geez, Jay, you look good.
that's not Jay. You know that's Sandy.
Tell him I said so.
Okay, Jay or Sandy looks good.
We both do.
There you go.
They're both extra hands.
You're both extra handsome, Tom said.
Okay, I've got 7 o'clock. So I want to call to order the meeting of the Lincolnville Planning Board. Today is May 12th, 2021. In compliance with social distancing, we are conducting this meeting via Zoom. And it can be watched live on the Zoom app or channel 22 on cable TV. Information how to access the meeting can be found on the town website. No password required. The public can submit comments if they are received by 3 o'clock the day before the meetings, or use the chat feature when allowed. Recordings of previous meetings may be watched on YouTube. There is a link on the town website to get you to those recordings, and all of our schedules, agendas, and meetings are also in the document library on the town website. So now if each of the planning board members and alternates would identify themselves vocally for the record, please.
Sandy Delano,
Janice K, Lincolnville Center.
Scott Harrison, Lincolnville.
Dick Vermeulen, Lincolnville.
Jay Foster, alternate.
And Bill will not be with us this evening. We do have more than enough for a quorum, so Jay will hang out with us, but I won't need to appoint him to sit for a voting member. We'll do minutes at the end of the proceedings, if that's okay with everybody. And we have a change. Is there anything I need to cover before I run into the agenda? No. We have a change on tonight's agenda. One of the two camps has been postponed to another day. So we will be reviewing just the Glenmore, which is, as I see it, an amendment to a commercial site, and then the camp on Norton Pond. Do we see them in order at this time? So first up, Glenmore by the Sea, owned by Penn Bay Hospitality, located at 2143 Atlantic Highway. It's map 13, lot 85. They seek to, or are acquiring a portion of land, 6 acres with 4 cabins on it. And we'll need to create a road to access that 6 acres. Will Gartley will be presenting for, I think it's George and Kristen Palmer, I believe. Is that
Hi,
right?
it's actually Bill Lane. Good evening.
Hi.
And yes, I'll be presenting, representing Renato Christie, who's also present this evening, and also from my from Gartley and Dorsky this evening is Marshall Cole. I don't see him joined just yet, but perhaps he's being hooked up. Thanks for letting me into the chat. And just as in brief summary, Mr. Christie has, through Glenmore, his business, has a purchase and sale to acquire an adjacent 6-acre parcel to the north of the Glenmore. And that is presently improved with 4 cabins at the waterfront. And the proposal is to amend the site plan to add that use to the existing Glenmore property and to review construction of an access drive between the 2 structures, between the 2 properties. We have submitted, Mr. Cole from my office has submitted the application, and we've enumerated through a letter how we feel we meet the site plan review criteria. In addition to the application, we provide the current deeds to both properties, right title interest through the purchase and sale agreement, documentation of abutter notices. We've also provided some additional material, the site location map, flood zone map for Met, aerial photo of the area, copies of the pertinent tax maps, the boundary survey for the property, and then a plan depicting how this portion of the adjacent property integrates into the existing facility and the location of the proposed drive to connect them. There is no alternative to providing a new access drive, as the sale is contingent on not granting access via the existing long single lane drive down to it that exists today. And then I would just point out one difference in the narrative. There is a proposal to construct a new on-site wastewater disposal system on this 6-acre parcel. And Mr. Christie has had James Marple, licensed site evaluator, prepare a design for that work, which would be subject to Frank's review, naturally. That's my kind of rundown in short, and if there's anything of particular interest, or if there's something Mr. Christie would like to add, we're happy to answer any of your questions.
No, that was great, Bill. Thank you.
As an amendment to an approved commercial site plan, as I understand it, we do not need to review the submissions or go through the your regular preliminary review of everything. So in the subsection 18.1.1, if we were to check off and go through 11, 12, and 13 to decide which of those standards might be affected by this proposal, and then go back and discuss and review just those few that are pertinent. Does that sound like the right course of action, everybody?
Sounds good.
Any comments?
You're doing fine.
It sounds like the most straightforward thing to do.
I do have some questions, but obviously, once we go through the standards, we will touch upon where those questions will be most appropriate. And on the septic system that has now been come up since the application, Frank, will we need to review that later, or is that something you'll be able to permit and we won't be involved?
The planning board will not be involved. It's something that they have identified that evidently, so I think what I heard from Will, that was a last minute change where they decided that they were going to keep their own septic system, and therefore they created this new system. And Marble does an excellent job. I will be checking the site out as well before I'll issue a permit for it.
Okay. So this very comprehensive and complete application makes it so easy. I don't have to pull out a book and go through these standards one by one because you put them all down there for me. Let's see. If I am doing this correctly, I'd start at section 11 and go through the standards. Any objections?
That's correct.
Jay, did you want to say something?
Well, just for clarification for the record, this is a previously approved commercial site,
Yes,
which a piece of or parcel of property is being added to,
correct,
which doesn't really require commercial site plan review. But the
correct.
road that's being installed is what prompts the review by the planning board.
Yes,
So what we're concerned with really is the gravel driveway that's being put in to connect the two pieces of property that are being adjoined.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
But based on past meetings, similar, we still have to go through each of the standards just to say whether or not it's pertinent to this application. Is that right, Jay?
Well, we're reviewing it under section 18, right?
Yes,
It's an amendment. So we only focus on what it is that's changed from the approved plan,
right.
which is the
But do I
addition of the gravel
Still
driveway.
check mark through 11.1, 11.2, et cetera, correct?
Right.
Okay, they just don't have to be discussed in detail or,
If they're not pertinent to the
Okay.
application, which,
okay. So 11.1 is utilization of the site. Nothing changes there, correct?
No,
It's gonna be for lodging.
I have a concern there.
Okay,
The state DEP allows up to 1/10 of an acre of wetland to be filled in, which is 4,200 some odd feet. And what it's showing on here, that the amount of wetland that's being filled in is 4,800 square feet. And therefore, the town is not in a position where they can approve it for that. My recommendation is they're gonna have something that DEP will say that they will be allowed to fill in 4,800 feet rather than the 1/10 of an acre of wetland.
I believe in our application, we've
That's-
specified that we will be seeking an NRPA permit for the impacts.
Then we will need that as a contingency on the approval.
That makes sense.
And the second thing I have,
go ahead, Frank, and then we'll come back to Jay. Go ahead, Frank.
the second point of concern, it's not a big concern, but you're gonna be dropping 10 feet over 200 foot. I would like to see a couple of check dams on the lower side of the road to slow the water down, because as the road gets out to the existing road, it's not very far from the stream that is already coming down. So if you're going to connect to that stream, I would like to see the amount of flow that hits it minimized.
You're speaking specifically
It's no big deal.
upstream,
It's,
uphill.
What's that?
Uphill. of
I can't hear you too good. What I'd like to see is at least 3 check dams with the, have the riprap lined on the bottom side of the road.
You're saying uphill.
And you're probably going to have to, And you'll need a couple culverts to cross that over to bring it to the check dams. That's to avoid erosion controls as well as an excessive amount of water hitting the stream that's already in place.
Frank, you're talking about on the new proposed gravel drive, correct?
Only that.
Only that, okay.
Okay. Approximate location of wetlands, okay.
So those would be entered as contingencies.
Frank?
Yes, it would be.
Okay.
Just to clarify what Frank was saying on item number 1, are you referring to what's outlined in green on C1, on plan C1?
That's right, wetlands. Road to the wetlands.
Highlighted in green? Okay.
Correct.
That's classified as wetland or something other than that?
All the green is wetlands.
Wetland, okay.
Oh, okay. I wondered what that was.
And Frank, can you tell me where the stream is?
The stream is, if you look to the north side of the wetland, it says the approximate location of stream. That's a delineation of the wetland.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Great. Okay. And Jay, you had a comment.
Those were my questions about the highlighted. For the record, what Frank is talking about is highlighted on C1 as green, as classified as wetland, has to be treated under DEP requirements. And the second item was that the drainage off the roadway needs to be controlled by addition of dams and a crossover or 1 or 2 crossovers on the gravel drive that's proposed for proper runoff.
Now, what's the purpose of the culverts, Frank?
Well, your water's going to be on the upper side, which is going to be going downhill. So you want to feed that across to the riprap dams on the other side. You'll still
Otherwise,
have
the road will
some,
wash out.
right, the road will wash out and it's going to cause severe erosion down at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you're recommending two
Mainly
of
it'll
them?
cause sediment. A minimum of 2, possibly 3 check dams with 2 culverts running across under the road.
So we would view those as contingencies.
That's my recommendation.
And Mr. Lane, the existing road that Cedar Home had coming down to the 4 cabins, is that going to be, I see where there's a gate, but the road coming off of that gated access, is that going to be covered up? Is that going to be a pathway of any kind?
I probably should defer to Mr. Christie. I don't understand that there's any more specific plans for it other than to gate it.
Yeah, that is my understanding as well, that will no longer be used.
So will that be revegetated or just allowed to?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Aren't there supposed to be 2 roads in and out of that place? Did I read that somewhere?
To Cedar Home?
I think you're thinking about fire, police, and rescue. What they have in place already, the old road has got a hammerhead. And the intention of the hammerhead is, if I had a ladder truck or whatever, is to be able to make the turnaround so that they could reverse direction.
Okay.
The road is a little narrower than the previous road was. Obviously, you would not be able to have 2 pickups meeting on the new road. I'm not sure how wide it is on the old road, if they could or not, but that's not a consideration you're looking at.
Okay. And the floodplain wetlands are depicted, yes. All right, so should we move on to 11.2, traffic access and parking? Traffic access from the main from Route 1 isn't going to change. I'm sorry, am I breaking up too?
No,
Okay.
No,
Okay, so traffic access from Route 1 does not change. Vehicular access to and from the development must be safe and convenient. Again, nothing's being modified, as he said in the application. Points of access and egress, nothing changes there. Number 3, the grade of any proposed drive or street must not be more than plus or minus 3%. Now, is this in relation to the road or to access from Route 1? Number 3, how do we treat that?
That's generally the public way.
Public, okay. And number 4, intersection of any access and egress. Proposal uses existing drive for existing structures. No increase in traffic. Each of these structures, if everyone's not familiar, are just 1-bedroom cottages. So we're talking about probably a maximum of an additional 4 cars a day. Number 5, where the lot has frontage of 2 or more streets, that's not applicable. Number 6, where it's necessary to safeguard against hazards to traffic and pedestrians, not going to be affected by this. Number 7, access ways must be designed to have sufficient capacity. This project utilizes an existing entrance. Number 8, the following criteria must be used to limit the number of driveways. And again, these are really not applicable. Is that right? Section is, no, that's true. And okay. And if anyone disagrees with me and wants me to stop, you're going to holler, right?
Right.
Number 9, where an existing or planned public sidewalk, this is not applicable. C, access way, location and spacing, not a concern. D, internal vehicular circulation frontage feet. Vehicles can turn on the existing internal circulation layout. Clear routes of access must be provided. The existing drives are laid out to maintain clear routes of access. The layout and design of the parking areas must provide for safe and convenient circulation. Existing parking will be utilized. Number 4, all roadways must be designed to harmonize with topographic and natural features. Wait, we didn't like national? The access drive planned is to connect the existing property to the 4 cabins to be acquired.
Yeah.
Is there much vegetation and trees you're going to have to remove?
That is a forested area, so there will be vegetation removed for sure. We've taken pains to make this drive location outside the shoreline zone line. So this is as least impactful as we can make it.
No changes to proposed existing parking, no changes to proposed internal pedestrian walks. 11.3, storm water management. I see
that
no
would be what
changes.
Frank was talking about
Yeah,
with the coffer dams, and that would apply to that.
and we do see on C1, the sediment barriers as well
Yeah,
have already been planned.
As far as traffic and roadway is concerned, Lisa, I think we should note that C2 and the application also shows the gravel road bed and the standards that are going to be used to build it and construct it.
Exactly. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, I'm sorry, 11.4, all natural drainage ways must be preserved at their natural gradients, must not be filled or converted to closed systems. Existing natural drainage ways will be maintained. Number 5, Design of stormwater drainage must provide for the disposal of stormwater without damage to the streets. You checked on that. I'm not going to try to say the word deleterious. Number 6, the design of the storm drainage systems must be fully cognizant of upstream runoff. And I think we're obviously, Frank has already addressed this. And the biological and chemical properties of receiving waters must not be degraded. Site improvements will not introduce contaminants into site runoff. Okay. 11.4 erosion control. We do have that on C2, but also on C1 with the sediment barriers. (11.5) water supply provisions. There's no change there. Sewer and wastewater. Obviously, since this was submitted, there has been a change, and Frank is on top of that with a permit when the time is necessary, when the plans are submitted. Have you already received that, Frank?
What's that?
The new plans for the sewage
Yes,
system?
I have them.
Oh,
I do have the new plans.
okay. 11.7 utilities will not be affected. 11.8 natural features. They state grading will be as minimal as possible and extensive landscaping on site will be maintained. 11.9 groundwater protection, water quality protection. No storage of pollutants will occur at this site. No storage facilities are proposed and the standard is not applicable. That's 11.3, 11.9.3. Sensitive region, watershed department. So you are waiting on something from DEP. And that will be one of our contingencies. 11.10 hazardous special radioactive materials, not. 11.11 shoreland relationship,
No change.
no change. 11.12 solid waste management, no change there. 11.13 historic and archaeological resources, no change there. 11.14 floodplain management.
Not in floodplain.
Thank you. 11.15 general fire provisions. Shouldn't be any change there. No new commercial or multifamily residential buildings. Good neighbor standards. No new extra lighting is proposed. The buffering
Doesn't change.
doesn't change. And as far as I understand this very nicely vegetated, nice gardens, etc. And where's my brain? Does that bring us to 12.3? Yeah, 12.3 is noise. Road construction and use of the drive will not create a nuisance of noise. The construction activity for the road will comply with the requirements of noise hours. Storage of materials not applicable. And 13, landscaping. Nothing will change except what you need to mess up to make the road, right? And that
That's
will be
correct.
as little as possible.
Yep.
13.1 landscaping, 13.2 no business signs are proposed. 13.3.3 roadside and parking lot buffers not applicable. 13.4 site considerations. Nothing new is proposed. Building orientation, building scale. There were no new buildings, no new parking areas. 13.5 no canopies or drive-through facilities. 13.6 view protection. You're doing nothing that will affect the view. And that's all I've got. So do we need to go back and talk more about any of those?
I don't think so.
You guys aren't going to make this hard on me?
You're just a seasoned professional.
Yeah, right. Well, in that case, are we at that point where someone needs to make a motion to approve or to disapprove this
I'll make that
application?
motion to approve the application with the contingency.
And we have a contingency of need for approval from the DEP.
And buffer
And,
dams,
I'm sorry?
and the buffer dams for the water flow.
And culverts.
And culverts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in the letter that you receive from the town office, it will specify Frank's recommendations on those points. Is that right, Frank?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so do I have a second
Second.
and a vote? Roll call.
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
The permit from the DEP, is that going to require remediation?
I think what they're looking for approval for, in other words, they have exceeded the 10th of an acre coverage. So they're
Yep.
looking for approval to extend that to the 4,800 feet. Is that correct,
Okay.
Bill?
Yes, we would not be exceeding any thresholds for compensation or mitigation.
Because the town cannot approve it because it's not what the current allowance of DEP has for lot
So the
coverage.
town- The town can approve it with the issuance of the permit from the state.
Yes,
Approval from the
But
state, yeah.
your approval would be contingent upon the issuance of the NRPA permit.
Yeah. I think Scott's motion refers to the commercial site plan review ordinance 11.3.3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's the part that we're reviewing under section 18 by Frank's recommendation for the remediation with the dams and the crossovers.
That's
And
correct.
11.9 A3 is the one for the permit from the state. Those seem to be the only two standards that are pertinent under section 18 for review and that we're asking to be contingent for approval.
Thank you. That's so Nancy can get everything in the record. Because Jay says it so much more eloquently than I can.
I know, you can't write that fast.
Yes, but you always have the videos you can go back and watch,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Okay, so now we're ready, if we may, to get a roll call vote. And starting with Janice, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Sandy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes,
Dick,
Yes.
and Elizabeth, yes. So you are approved. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing all those contingencies.
Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
Good
you,
night.
too.
And one. So Frank, do I need to sign this application and bring it back into the office tomorrow?
you
Or do
need
you
to sign.
wait till you have all your,
You need to sign the commercial site plan application. And then you need to sign the plat plan. You need to have 5 signatures on that. That will be at the town office. Now, I have one copy, let's see,
I have a really nice one that I've made an effort not to put any marks on.
right, okay, so I believe I had requested 3 large ones, Bill's gone. I had requested 3 large ones, so they should be there for the planning board to sign. And
Okay,
I guess I have to remind the planning board, try to make more of an effort with the last one you did on the change on Picture Pond. The architect was getting a little bit concerned because, as you know, after 90 days, it's null and void. And it had gone almost 2 weeks.
Oh,
thank you, Frank, for reminding us.
Welcome.
So I will get these back to you tomorrow and the application, and hopefully everybody else can make it in. So next up is wait a minute. Let me get all my papers. All right, who took page 3? Okay, shoreline zoning, non-conforming application. This is a review of proposed renovation and additions to a non-conforming shoreline structure located at 46 Norton Pond. Map 4, lot 26. We have in the packet, let's see, I pulled a deed and there's a letter authorizing Mr. Brian Austin to represent the owners. This is a great application, by the way, Mr. Austin, thank you. And so I'll let you start, Brian.
Yeah, my name's Brian Austin with 2A Architects. Yeah, thanks for inviting me in. I guess just real quick, we've got an existing cottage that was built around 1945. It's all within non-conforming, all within the 75-foot setback. The existing cottage is 2 stories, currently about 1,000 square foot living space, and it has an attached side deck that's about 400 square feet. On the main level, there's the living, bath, kitchen, the deck. Upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms currently. And then there's, one of the problems that we're trying to resolve is a very narrow stair, about 24 inches, and that's quite steep going up to the upper floor. And then the existing site's about 0.37 acres. As you can see on the site plan, it has an existing gravel drive and parking area. There's an existing shed that sort of hovers just about the 75-foot line. And then it's currently on a 3-bedroom septic system that was put in, I think, around 2016. And it's got overhead power as well as well up sort of right around the 100-foot mark. The proposal is to expand, as you can see, sort of the existing deck sort of sticks out about 12 foot on the west side, and it runs the full length. So we're proposing to put an addition on that side to replace the deck, and then sort of shift over the deck to the west side. And then we'll propose to take off the 1 brick chimney that you can see sort of dashed in red. And then I guess the 2 things I'd want to point out are sort of the lot coverage summary. Currently, it's approximately about 21.5%. And we're proposing to get it down to about 19.6% with the renovations. And you can see on the site plan marked in red, there's sort of 2, on the east side, there's sort of 2 gravel walkways that we'll remove and sort of revegetate. So in the end, we'll reduce it, get it below 20% for the lot coverage. And then the other summary would just be sort of the combined structure that's within 75 feet. So it's almost 1,100 square feet, the existing combined structure. And then with the 30% sort of expansion, which is greater than sort of the 1,000 square feet, would be about 1,400 square feet. And what we're proposing is about 200 square feet under that, so we're about 1,200 square feet for the combined structure within that 75-foot setback. We are proposing to remove 4 of the large trees, and we marked those in red. One of them currently grows right through the existing deck, which will be the addition. And then where the one deck is getting bumped to, there's one of the trees that would be growing through that. And the other 2 are just within a few feet of the existing deck, which will become the addition. So there was quite concern just sort of with the health and safety of those. So we're proposing to remove those. And then working with Frank, we're proposing to sort of plant the 13 trees, native trees that are shown. It's really weird not having floor plans in front of you, but the exterior elevations, I think the only other point I'd like to make on sort of the SK 4.0 with the elevations, on the upper part of that sheet are the existing house elevations, and below you can see the proposed. Pretty much we're just sort of extruding that existing volume over where the existing deck is, and then sort of the proposed deck comes off of the west of that. And then the renovation on the inside We will be 3 bedrooms. One of it is to get sort of a one floor living. So with the renovations on the main floor, we'll end up with sort of 3 bedrooms on that. The existing height is, I can't read this, about 20'6", and then that's what we're not exceeding the original height, pretty much just extruding that volume. So there's no change in existing height. And I guess with that, I guess I can just open it for questions or anything you guys want to go through in more detail.
The existing sewer system, I take it, is adequate for the expansion.
It's a 3-bedroom system and it's a 3-bedroom house.
Great. You are, go ahead, Janice.
I have a question about the trees that you're removing. You
Yes.
said that there was one growing through the deck now.
Yeah, you can see, if you're on the SK 1.0, the site plan, you'll sort of see a red, sort of where the darker gray box is, where the addition is going. That tree grows through the existing deck, and there is an image up in the upper left corner. If you get close, you can sort of see that one tree sort of comes right through the existing deck.
Yes, so you're removing removing that tree?
Yes, and 3 others, so a total of 4 trees would be removed.
But you're replanting 13?
We're replanting 13 that are marked on the plan. And talking with Frank, we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, sort of 7 within that sort of that canopy, and then sort of another 6 sort of within the 75-foot that are sort of marked on that site plan.
Great.
And the tree has to be removed because I'm not quite sure I follow this design, but you're changing the deck location?
Yes, the new deck would get pushed off to the west. So there's one tree that would sort of grow right in that location. That's in that location that would need to come down. And then the other 2 that are getting removed that sort of around the front side are just within 3 feet of the existing deck. So they're a problem now with sort of the structure of the deck, and certainly with the addition, they'll just, continue to be a problem.
Well, that's too bad, because I think that tree in that deck is the most charming thing about that cottage. I'm very, very sorry to hear you're doing that, but.
But where the deck is now is going to be the extension of the cabin, the cottage.
Yes.
Then it would be growing through someone's dining room.
Is that a problem?
The only thing I would say, there's probably about 12 or 13 more of those trees that are on the property that are quite large oak trees and stuff. So,
With the brown tail moth, you probably want to get rid of them too.
Yes.
A couple items, Elizabeth.
Yes, please.
One is, I just want to make sure on the plan, the architectural site plan, that the area in front of the cottage, the approximate area of E gravel and stone patio is existing.
Yes.
That's not being proposed to be constructed.
Yeah.
Okay.
No change to that. Yes, that's out of our scope. Yeah, that's there now.
All right. And the other thing is on the 1B concept entry elevation. At the lower right-hand corner, you show a concrete foundation below the addition, which I assume is below the new addition.
It is, yeah, just below the new addition. We'd like to do it.
Okay, so there's a foundation underneath the existing building.
It's an existing pier system, not a concrete foundation. So the existing will remain.
And the addition?
The addition will be 3 sides of that would be concrete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should the board be dealing with 12C2?
Incoming, hold on. C2. Foundations. Whenever a new, enlarged, or replacement foundation is constructed under a non-conforming structure, the structure and the new foundation must be placed such that the setback requirement is met to the greatest practical extent as determined by the planning board, basing its decision on the criteria specified in 12C3, which is about relocation. I never understand that. So Jay,
Well, in order to deal with that, the board's going to have to take up 12C2 and determine that the additional foundation that's being added under the addition is going to be complying with the fact that the existing building should not be moved. Therefore, it'd be impractical to move the whole proposed addition any further back than it already is. There's nothing that's being proposed that's moving it any closer to the water. And the
correct.
setbacks on either side are being complied with. So the fact that there's an addition being, I guess you'd call it an enlarged or a new addition, with additional foundation under a new proposed addition would cause us to have to take up 12C2 and determine that it is in fact been cited as far back as practical. Just for the record.
Right. I understand.
Say that again.
I'm sorry?
Never. I was going to ask him to repeat that.
I'm not even
Nancy
going to make a
wishes you
motion,
would.
Frank. No, it's there. It's on the plan. I think the board should deal with 12C2 and just make a determination for the record that it's been discussed.
Okay.
Hi
Do
to
we need,
Amanda, Brian.
Oh, I missed that, Jay?
Hi to Amanda.
Oh, yes. Can you see her in the background? Yes. She's working hard.
Amanda and Brian designed the town office for anybody who doesn't know.
oh, wow.
Yes.
No, I didn't know.
Hopefully it's still working out well.
Still working out well.
It's still standing.
That's great.
So Jay, are you suggesting we need to do anything further other than have that put in the record that was discussed?
I think the board should make a motion that 12C2 was discussed and the board has determined that there's no need to move it back any further because it's not practical, however you want to word that.
Great. So someone make a motion and say whatever Jay just said.
I'll make that motion that it's already set back as far as practical and that the new foundation is not going to put it any closer to the pond than it is now.
Second that.
Janice,
I'm not sure.
you can abstain.
I will.
All right. Sandy,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Elizabeth, yes. And specifically, Nancy, that was in reference to 12C3.
12C2.
12C,
C2.
12C2. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the reference underneath it. My apologies, Nancy.
Yep.
So now, is everybody satisfied? Do they have any more questions, concerns?
No.
And if every renovation came to the planning board looking like this, wouldn't you all be delighted?
Excellent job, Brian.
Well,
Yes,
thank you.
Very nice, very nice. So I need a motion to approve or disapprove this application for renovation and addition to the 46 Norton Pond Cottage.
I would make a motion to approve the addition to the cottage at 46 Norton Pond Road, is it?
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Janice,
No.
Sandy,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Elizabeth says yes. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you all for your time.
And so again,
Brian,
Frank, I just need to sign the application and drop it off at the office.
the second page of the application at the bottom, please.
Okay,
Thank you very
I'll
much.
do that tomorrow. Thank you.
Perfect.
Good night,
Thank you.
Brian.
Yes, good night. Thank you.
And those other ones been postponed?
Yes, you'll probably
Thank
get it. We will probably get it on the 28th. Is that right,
Changed.
Frank?
They changed the size of the plan by 4 feet, and that's not acceptable. Because the planning board would have to have had time to review it, and we're not gonna fool around with things like that.
Oh,
Thank you.
was that the Sanderson one you're talking
Yes.
about, Frank? Okay.
Yeah. And he did call me and I said, new application.
Oh, a new application?
Yeah, to reflect those changes.
Elizabeth, just to be clear, what is it is it at the town office right now that needs to be signed? And by whom?
We're all set now
So you're all set? Okay,
at this point.
all right.
Yeah, but
Thank you, Jay.
everyone needs to sign the Glenmore commercial site plan that we approved with contingencies.
Yeah, we
And
want we want
But not,
two
Jay,
copies.
you don't have to sign it because you weren't a voting member tonight, correct?
There's nothing else at the office that needs to be signed?
Is all
No.
the old stuff good? Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, we had 3 signatures on which satisfied.
Will
okay,
that be available tomorrow
yes,
to be signed?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Before we go to the minutes real quick, if I could just say, I don't know where the appropriate place to say these things is, but Jay brought up a couple of meetings ago about the necessity for us to maybe discuss some of the standards and get a clearer grasp of some of them. And I would personally would love to do that. I don't know how to make that happen now. I think in the past, Jay has been on the planning board for a very long time. The times when a meeting was not necessary because there were no applications, they would meet anyway and accomplish all kinds of great stuff. We're going to be quite busy this summer. I don't think we're going to have many opportunities to meet or have meetings when there's not an application in front of us. So if anyone has suggestions or how we might address talking about some of these things, I know that there's some points of protocol I'd like to talk about and understand these things more, like Jay said, 18.2.1.7 or whatever. I'm joking. He's not laughing. So, give that some thought, see what we might come up with. Review of the minutes for April 28th of 2021. I was not present, but I have a couple of comments. I did watch the video, so I don't know if that means I can or cannot vote to approve or not. But the one thing I did catch, when you opened the meeting, Jay made the point that he could be appointed to facilitate, but at the same time not be a voting member that evening. And he did not vote that evening. He was strictly a facilitator. So I think there's just one, maybe two places where he's down as having, where the count was 5-0. Most of them were 4-0, and they should probably all reflect 4-0.
Well, just a point on that, Elizabeth, because I was going to bring up the same subject.
Okay.
The first paragraph that starts out, Vice Chair Delano welcomed all of the planning board. It refers to Bill Norfleet as a voting member, seconded by Vermillion and 4-0, and then began the board's approval and change. Also, I was approved as a voting. That makes 6 members. I think it should read that Bill Norfleet was appointed by the vice chair as a voting member, and I was voted as an alternate as the facilitator. And that means that there's 5 voting, and that's a full board. We don't want 6 people eligible to vote.
But Janice was not present. 1, 2, 3, 4. Janice was not present for voting. There were only 4 voters that evening. And you as facilitator, I was absent.
Well, you had Sandy, Scott, Dick, Janice was not there.
Not Janice.
No, Janice.
No, I was watching, but I couldn't get into the
She
Zoom,
was not voting.
so I was not voting.
So it should read that Sandy appointed Bill as an alternate to being a voting member, and I was also voted because Janice was there but not able to participate.
No,
No,
Bill was appointed to sit for Janice as a voting member,
Okay, that's
and
4.
Jay was appointed to act as facilitator, but not as a voting member. And you brought that up, saying that you could facilitate without voting.
So that's 5.
4. Sandy, Scott, Dick, and Bill
Okay,
were voting.
all right.
You were facilitating. Myself and Janice were not present.
got all that, Nancy?
Yes.
Great. Was there anything else anyone needed to address on the minutes? Okay. I think if you did review minutes, that might have been a 5-0 because Jay would have been able to vote on minutes if he was present at that meeting on the 14th.
Well, only
But
if
other
I've
than
been,
that,
only if I've been appointed as a voting member.
right. Okay. So next would to hear a motion to approve as amended or with amendments, the minutes for April 28th.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes as amended.
And a second
I would second that.
and a vote. Dick,
Yes.
Janice,
Yes, if I can vote.
did you
I-
watch the video?
I did.
Okay. Sandy,
Yes. And I
Jay,
didn't- And I didn't watch the video.
did you
Yes,
vote on minutes? Yep. And Scott
Yes,
and Elizabeth, yes. Is that it?
Hopefully.
All right, guys.
on the agenda.
Now remember, on the 28th, we have Guns N' Roses.
I didn't hear you, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
She
she's
just froze up.
You there?
She's frozen.
Uh-oh. Elizabeth,
let it go, let it go, let it go.
What is it she's trying to say on the 28th that we have Guns
A
N'
meet-
Roses?
A meeting?
Well, I got that far.
something about May 28th. What was that? A meeting?
It can't be. May 26th
She
is
said-
the last Wednesday.
It would have to be May 26th. But she did say the 28th. I wrote it down.
Yep, she said 28th, but
Yeah.
we do have a planning board meeting on the 26th.
is David there? Is he trying to get Elizabeth back?
David's muted.
I am here. Woo-hoo. I think Elizabeth will have to try to log in again. This is a one-way street. If somebody doesn't try to get on it, I can't reach into their house and bring them in.
Come on,
I
Dave.
wish you could. I wish you could, David.
Oh, if I did, I'd work for the CIA.
You don't?
Me too.
Well, not that I tell people.
So can we make a motion to adjourn the meeting
We can do
without
that.
Elizabeth? I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right.
So we're all saying goodbye.
And Elizabeth,
Bye-bye.
Elizabeth, email
Bye,
us
Elizabeth.
on what it was you were trying to say, please.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, kids.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.
No vote.
Unanimous.
Thank you.